up Representative Cinziano, but before I do that, I need to recognize another one of our colleagues who have joined us, and that is State Representative Sandra Williams from the Cleveland area. Thank you, Representative, for being here with us. Representative Cinziano.
Thank you all for being here, and I really appreciate the opportunity to stand here with my colleagues and community leaders. Prior to serving in the legislature, I actually came from the Board of Elections. And the legislation that we've passed, the changes that are going to be impacting all of our Ohioans when they go to vote, is something that's deeply concerning. We've taken away local control. We're no longer allowing our local boards of elections to determine what the best needs for their jurisdictions are going to be. As voters, you're going to have a very different experience. Those good lessons, those things we've learned over the last decade have been thrown out the door. We now are going to have barriers and procedures in place that have been very successful, and so that's what's so troubling. As mentioned before, we're still looking for the rationale of why this was needed. The timing, we know what's coming this November, and it's that worry of changing the rules. I think you've heard from our colleagues, we're happy to debate issues. We're happy to discuss the merits of things. What we don't appreciate is seeing the rules change so those discussions can occur, and that's what this legislation really does. Not allowing boards of elections to be able to assist seniors when they need help to fill out absentee ballot applications, to restrict access and not allow people at their own free will. We're going to have our second statewide absentee ballot mailing, only 2 ever, and now the legislature is so bold to say, well, we don't want to see another one until we come forward with the money and determine that it's going to be appropriate. Appreciate you all being here, being able to carry this message of things are being changed. I encourage you to support Representative Reese and the Legislative Black Caucus initiative. We are to the point where we have to now ingrain voting as a right in our Constitution. It's not something we should be at a point and need to do, but we've seen so many things change that's where we are in this moment in time. And so their leadership, their action is outstanding. So thank you all for being here. Appreciate you getting behind that support. I will next introduce P.D. Talley, Secretary-Treasurer for Ohio AFL-CIO. Thank you for the opportunity to be here and speak.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Representative Cinziano, and thank all of you for being here. We are pleased in the Ohio labor movement to join with others across the state calling for ballot access and shining a light and denouncing the voting restrictions that voters outright rejected when they secured signatures to veto the same measures under House Bill 194 just 2 years ago. Under former rules for voting, thousands of voters took advantage of extended evening and weekend hours, and especially on Sunday, actually affording them their only opportunity to participate in our state's important elections without risk of losing a day's pay. As it is, workers are putting in longer hours, they're working multiple jobs just to make ends meet, so the extended voting hours brought relief to many workers concerned with how they were going to be able to cast their ballot and have their ballot counted. Workers can hardly get time off to care for a sick family member or to take their kid to a doctor's appointment. So the thought of standing in line for up to 4 hours on election day or worse, going to the wrong polling place because the local board of elections either moved or consolidated the polls leaves many voters out in the cold and with fewer dollars in their pocket if they have to miss work without pay. The new rules for provisional voting will have a chilling effect because it is requiring a lot of technical information, conjuring up in my mind visions of literacy tests of old, designed to keep certain segments of our society from voting. How many of you here know your ward or precinct, or think it's fair for your provisional ballot to be tossed for not knowing, or if you miss a digit in your zip code? All of this is immaterial information, especially if you've already proven your identity. If these rules that were passed into law in the last couple of weeks were in place in 2012, over 100,000 votes would have been tossed and not counted. We know that the governor of this state has heard from thousands of voters either by voicemail or email urging him to veto these bills, but he signed them anyway. These new laws are in overreach, and we will not rest until we shine a light on those who have had a hand in suppressing the votes in Ohio. And please know that workers and union workers in Ohio stand with you in turning back the clock and turning back these efforts to suppress our votes. Thank you.